Hello everybody, welcome to the last video in our mini kind of unit on Pythonic code. In this video, we're going to be formatting this NumPy array that I have displayed here. Now, the actual formatting, that information, it's not super important. The reason why we're going through the material in this video is just to have a review of f strings and lambda functions. So what I have here is I've instantiated a random number generator, and you might notice that I have this argument seed equals 1 here. You don't need to worry about it too much other than it's just going to allow me to get kind of repeatable random numbers. And here I have a NumPy array where basically these are random numbers that follow a normal distribution, so mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1, and size 100, so this is a length 100 array. So if we do, for instance, like shape, we can see length 100. So, okay, here's our array. But maybe I don't like how I have this by 10 to the negative 1, by 10 to the negative 1, by 10 to the 0. So maybe I'm not so interested in having it look like this. Maybe I want to have it printed a little bit differently. So the way that we're going to do that is with something called set print options. So this is in NumPy. So let's start by getting help on np.set_print options. And we can see here there's a lot of different arguments we could pass. So maybe precision or edge items or line width or something like this would give us what we want. But for this video, let's focus on this formatter argument. So let's scroll down and see where we can learn about it. So formatter, it's saying I need to pass a dictionary of callables and well, what's a callable? So for instance, we're going to be using float in this case, and let's see, if not none, basically what we're going to do is we're going to specify, okay, how do we want to format, for instance, floats, which is what we're dealing with here. And we're going to put that as a key in a dictionary, and then we're going to tell NumPy, well, what function should I use to format it? So let's take a look. So what I can do is, let me scroll down here. I'm going to say np.set_print options, and then formatter equals, now remember I need a dictionary, and the callable needs to be put into quotes like this. So I'm going to say float. And what does this correspond to? Well, now this is how we can kind of specify what we want to do with our function, or how do we want it to be formatted. So what I'm going to say is, let's do a lambda function, x, so that's going to be our variable, and I want it to be displayed, so I have f string, let's take x, and then remember what I can do is I can use the colon to say, well, how do I want it to be formatted? And if I do .4f, that's saying give me 4 decimal places. So I've set the print options. Let's go back up here to my array and let's run the code. So keep a look, we have this 3.455 by 10 to the negative 1. I run it, and now I get 0.3456, for instance. So I've gotten the first 4 decimal places. So this is fine, but the old version was a little bit nice in that the commas were lined up. So let's think about, or I'm going to show you how we can get the columns lined up. So let's go down to our print options. One thing that we could do is we could have, instead of just having this .4f, if I put a plus, what that's going to do is it's going to put a plus if it's positive. So let's run this again. Come back up here. Let's keep our eye on this first entry. It should have a plus, and it does. So plus 0.3456. And okay, this is looking pretty good, but maybe these plus minuses are distracting. So something that we could do instead even is not having a plus, just a space. So let's set our print options, scroll back up. Again, let's keep our eye on this first entry. And we see here is 0.3456. So this is looking pretty good, a lot more readable than what we started with. So again, quick video. The main takeaways are just using f strings and lambda functions. So where did we use those? Particularly here. So if you have a question about any of these parts, feel free to reach out to me or your TA, and definitely be sure to refresh on the videos about lambda functions and f strings. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.